trying to reveal the secret. The secret has been hidden from the world for far too long. But now, they can no longer keep it from us.
In order to become successful, a lot of times you have to find your zone that's comfortable for you.
When you come to that crossroad and you get to a certain age where you have that epiphany where what the hell am I going to do with the rest of my life, and you don't even have a plan yet, that's when it's time to start writing your shit down.
Sometimes, life decisions and life choices steer you another path, but, mistakes are given, being a human. We don't have to be perfect.
One day the world's gonna have to come around and recognize that, yeah, this is different, but there's nothing like this out here.
You have to let your imagination run wild when it comes to your career, period.
Most people only plan for what they think they can get. The universe doesn't like that. The universe wants you to go for what you think is impossible.
Dr. King said your character is built not during times of comfort and convenience, but during times of conflict and controversy.
You have to put up your own money. That's independence. If someone else is putting up the money, that's dependence.
The secret to balling.
Grown man salute, check the black suit, a fair black tie. Got these kids filling up the premises, they want the supply. Product is uncut, we giving you what you need cause you pay the prices. And if albums like pizza pies, we know you only trying to pay for them slices. When them chefs in the street, they call me daylight, as if I lost my soul. I still got it, baby boy. Then the sound.
What's the deal, family? Welcome back to another episode of the ISM Radio Show. This is your host, Andrea. I'm so glad you chose to tune in. Peace and positivity to you. We have an excellent show lined up for you, and I'm going to just get right into it. I recently got the opportunity to speak with Kenyatta. Kenyatta is the founder and CEO of Hip Hop Motivation. If those of you who are not familiar, please look up Hip Hop Motivation on YouTube. You can also look up Dame Dash, but what you'll find is a host of videos that feature in-depth conversation and interviews between Kenyatta and Dame Dash. I happen to be a huge fan of those videos. Also be sure to check out Kenyatta's new project called Think and Ball Out. That's a project where he interviews Dame, and Dame is dropping some serious gems. Secrets of Ballin', that's a docudrama that's soon to be released by Hip Hop Motivation, and you'll hear more about that from Kenyatta. Now, this interview between Kenyatta and I was one of a kind for me, and I'm really excited to share it with you. I've interviewed a host of people, from celebrities the whole nine, but Kenyatta is special. He's a good dude, he's a smart businessman, but most importantly, he's a spiritual man. So check out this interview, and I hope that you enjoy it as much as I did. So again, Kenyatta, thank you so much again for joining us on the show. I think I have about 15 or so questions for you.
No problem.
Just to kind of introduce yourself and speak on Hip Hop Motivation and a lot of the different projects that you have going on right now. First off, I wanted to know basically like where you're from and where did you grow up?
Well, I'm from Los Angeles originally, and I grew up in North Carolina, the Gastonia area. It was around Charlotte, Shelby, Kings Mountain. That's my father's side of the family, and I was also in Tennessee. Moved around a lot as a kid, but I was born and raised more than anywhere else in Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And one thing I do know about you is that you're a barber. And,
right, by trade, yeah, definitely.
By trade.
Yeah.
I just want to know how you got into that. Was that something you got into really early on, or?
Well, I got into the barbering game from not being able to get my hair cut every week because my mom she wasn't in the space financially to give me, you know, the $10 or $15, whatever it was back in the day, to get my hair cut every week. And so I had an aunt, my mom's oldest sister, my Aunt Betty. She took me to this place called Service Merchandise. It was like a sort of a appliance store back in the day, and she bought me some clippers. And it was funny because after I got a haircut, she bought me the clippers. And what I did was I kept going around the haircut. I was about 10 or 11 years old. I kept going around the haircut as if I cut it myself. And I would lie to my homeboys, you know, around the way and tell them I cut my own hair. So they became my guinea pigs. And then if I found out that I had a gift at cutting hair and, you know, giving brothers that tight fade. And it took a while. It wasn't all the way tight in the beginning, but it got tight. You know, I was better than the average. So, and the rest is history. Like I came out of, when I got out of high school, I went to beauty college because I wanted to learn how to cut women's hair. And that was cool for me. But, you know what I'm saying, at that time, you know, I was still in my player stage. So it kind of was hurting my business because I was getting that any fine honey that I was, you know, hooking up or whatever. And it's just like, you know, I bowed out the business on that end. I was like, look, until I get control of myself, I can't really do that.
Right.
So I just went full-fledged into the barbering game, got into a salon on Crenshaw on 43rd. After about a year or two in that salon, I had purchased the shop, the business, and I kept it rolling for a good 17 years. I was running that salon. I've had it for like 17 years. Shop called All That on Crenshaw on 43rd. Well known on that block. Shout out to all my brothers over there and the sisters over there, you know, doing hair, because hair is life on Crenshaw, right?
So you still own that shop?
No, I actually gave it up about a year ago to go full-fledged into hip-hop motivation. Now I cut privately. I still do a lot of entertainers and do a lot of people in the game, but I do things private now. Right,
got you. So I'm like freelance or whatever.
Right, yeah. So I could put more effort and energy into hip-hop motivation because that's my passion.
Exactly. And you kind of already answered some of my next question, because what was really interesting to me is that I learned that you did cut celebrities' hair, and I just wanted to know, how did you get that opportunity? How did you break and start having those higher profile clientele? Oh, that's a great question. For me, what happened was I was, you know, just doing great jobs inside the salon, and I was cutting a lot of random people, like any barber or any stylist. And what happened was I started, you know, my cuts began to follow people to the studio or to a video set or a movie set, and then entertainers and different people would ask who cut their hair, because I was always, you know, I'm real particular about how my haircuts look, you know, especially it was really like in that era, everything to me was getting on TV or cutting people that are on videos or rappers and seeing my work in magazines, and that was my full concentration, to the point where I would even tell my people, you know, in North Carolina or wherever, you know, my cousins or whatever, that I was already cutting entertainers, because I've always been a person, you know, to fake it until I make it, you know, and not lying about it, but more or less living it within my mind through imagination first, and then it becomes a reality. And I knew that then, you know, so that's what happened, and I just kept doing it, and then people would see my work and call me in the studios and different places, and I started cutting these people. And then I really put it on when I started cutting those people, you know, like, you know, a private cut is different than a salon cut usually, right? Because, you know, you put a little more time into it, you know, you got a little more, you just paying a little more attention than you would maybe in the salon, you know, because sometimes you're in there clowning, Wow, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. And just on a side note, I recently cut my hair, not like that's like a boy cut, but it's, you know, I need a barber now, and I've realized how hard it is to find a decent barber. It's really
it's hard. Yeah, that takes a lot. You got to ask some questions. You got to talk to a few people and say, like, you got to, like, you see somebody in the street, like, yo, who cut your hair? If you like the cut,
that's exactly what I do.
You can't just hop in somebody's chair because you asking for it. You hop in anybody's chair like that without knowing it.
Exactly. Yeah. I made that big mistake. I'll never again. So
that's around and leave with some razor bumps or some, you know, an infection or something. Your line get pushed back. It's all types of things that happen in the barbershop.
Exactly.
You know I had people break out. I know people that got cut. As soon as they got finished with the haircut, they started breaking out. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. Yeah, barbering is, the barbering game, a lot of people don't take it serious, but it's, there's a reason that, we have to all go through the state board to get our license. It's real close to the medical field because, we're dealing with people with hands-on, but there's another level to being a barber or beautician. And I'm going to be writing books and doing seminars on that as well because a lot of people don't know it has a lot more to do with your personality and your business ethics.
Oh, exactly. I think that's dope that you're going to do that. So it's needed.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I got to do that. You know what I'm saying? That was, that was my hobby growing up. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said. Barber is my hobby, but motivation is my love. That's my passion.
Exactly. And I also wanted to know who came up with the name Barbara Walters. Was that you? Was that a celebrity?
That was Dame. Dame did that. Like I was at his house chilling, and he was like, "Yo, you on some Barbara Walters shit? You know what I'm saying? You like, you doing this and that." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. That's a dope name." I was like, "Damn, Barbara Walters. It's kind of catchy." Ain't got nothing to do with the white lady Barbara Walters, but what I'm saying, it has a lot to do with the fact that I interviewed a lot of people for this movie that's coming soon called The Secret to Balling. Where I talk to different people from all walks of life about their success secrets, and they just, it was real nice, and it's just good, intimate conversations about what kept these people relevant and what helped these people on their journey to success, and that's what we packaged up in this movie. As I said, coming soon, Secret to Balling.
Right. Wanted to get more into hip hop motivation. Obviously, you're the CEO and creator of Hip Hop Motivation. I'm very familiar with Hip Hop Motivation. I think I've seen all of the videos you have on YouTube. Maybe if I haven't seen any, it's probably maybe one or two. So, but for people who aren't familiar, what is Hip Hop Motivation, and what is its mission or purpose?
Well, Hip Hop Motivation is a self-help company from a hip hop perspective, and the main aim for Hip Hop Motivation is to shed light and to just give people inspiration from the culture of hip hop, whether you're in the culture of hip hop or you just in black culture, white culture, Hispanic culture, whatever you're a part of, whatever your choice of culture is. A lot of people do different things nowadays. We have something for you in that way. And it's not corny. It's not corny motivation. It's never going to be something where you're going to feel weird listening to it or hearing it or reading it. It's just going to be real, true to life information that can help you be successful and succeed on your journey to whatever it is you're trying to accomplish in life. And, the way we're doing it is through hip hop, being that hip hop is a culture, it's not just music, it's dance, it's music, it's graffiti, it's art, it's all types of different things. It's clothing, fashion, and, the culture of hip hop is a well-rounded brand, well-rounded culture with a lot of different races and genders that, involve themselves in that culture. I think all of us like something from hip hop nowadays. I mean, I love it everybody. Yeah. So, it was only right that we just target that audience, and then from there, but really it's for everybody because it's never going to be like there's no violence that we're pushing. We're not pushing violence, but we know that things happen and certain violent situations can occur on your path, like it happened to me. So, we'll be showing, we're going to be showing that. But it has to have a message. Anything we do is going to have a moral and giving people a great understanding of what it takes to be successful and to achieve and overcome any obstacle. And that's what hip hop motivation is, right?
That's what's up. I wanted to know, especially now since you've said that hip hop motivation is your passion and you're putting everything into that. What was it that inspired you to create hip hop motivation? With you, giving up the shop and, your trade and everything for this, what made you want to go this route? Was something you always wanted to do? Or?
Well, for me, I love all types of hip hop, and it's funny because like a lot of my people, they make fun of me because I like some of the grimiest hip hop. Like I like it to be gutter. I like it to be realistic. I like it to be from the heart and from the streets. Like I like stuff like, what I'm saying, like the Tupac back in the day, Biggie,
right,
3-6 Mafia. I like grimy hip hop. I like stuff that's, grimy. I like some of the pretty stuff too, what we call pretty stuff, like some of the sample heavy music. But, I just felt like hip hop has done a great job in entertaining people, but it has also misled a lot of people into thinking that, certain realms or certain levels is it. And it's more to life than, the negativity that we see on a day-to-day basis, especially in the hood. If you're listening, when you listen to music, it's entertaining, the beat is good, but I felt like a lot of stuff that was coming out wasn't giving people life and inspiration to move forward through their life, so
exactly.
the day I started writing a business plan for hip hop motivation, as well as my project Think and Ball Out, which is available right now on Bandcamp, hiphopmotivation.bandcamp.com. I wrote the first pages of that book and the whole breakdown of what I was going to do with hip hop motivation on the 24th of June. And I was on my way to cut Method Man for Wu-Tang Clan, and I was shot 6 times after leaving the salon on my way to cut Method Man. And so before that, I'm going to keep it real with you, I never really had any testimony of anything major that I went through as a human being that could maybe possibly not only inspire me to move forward, but in anyone else, because I've had pretty much, regular life. I never gangbanged, didn't sell no drugs. I ain't do none of that. I was around it. I seen it. You know what I'm saying? But it just wasn't a part of my lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I was never on no Suge Knight stuff. I wasn't just walking up to people, beating them up or treating people a certain way. It was just more peace. You know what I'm saying? But then when that happened, and I came back to and finished writing the projects in the hospital, and I just said that I guess this is a life mission for me. Because I feel like if I don't do this, then it was like I should have just laid there and just let go. That's how I feel about this. This is how I feel. I feel passionate about hip hop motivation. I feel like if I don't continue doing what I'm doing, then I might as well let go on June 24th. Period. Nothing else. I should have, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like my purpose was revealed at that moment to me, that I had to, channel the Most High and bring forth some information and just be used by God instead of being used by all these outside forces and all these outside things that wasn't really adding life to people, but absolutely taking away. You know what I'm saying? So I just committed my life to doing this. That's it.
Right. Okay. So I guess that's kind of like your major event or turning point that kind of made you more focused.
Yeah, most definitely. It was a major turning point. It was a lot of stuff going on in my life at that day, like at the time when that happened, even that day. There was a lot of things going on. I was on the phone complaining when I got shot, by the way. You know what I'm saying? So my energy was totally, I was in a negative vibe totally. You know what I'm saying? I was like talking negative. I was, damn, I don't want to live over here. I'm tired of being over here. And I knew better than that because I've always studied metaphysics. I've studied different spiritual manuals. I'm a heavy reader. I love to read. And, I knew better than just complaining and just putting that out there in the universe and feeling it, because I was feeling those complaints I was making. So when that situation occurred, I felt like it was happening for me instead of happening to me, because it was like more of a wake up, because all in all, complaining is, we all do it and we all go through that realm where we, get uncomfortable, and what would life be without discomfort? What would pleasure be without pain? And so what happened was, I learned that one of the most profound things that we do on a day-to-day basis, I wasn't even being thankful for that. And that was being able to breathe when I was shot in my lung and my liver. I couldn't breathe. I was hitting both lungs. It was, it was a bad situation. Cops came up and harassed me. You know what I'm saying? They, acted like pigs. You know what I'm saying? All police ain't pigs, but those two was pigs. You know what I'm saying? They came up on me, and one of them asked me what I do to deserve this. That was the first thing he asked me. He didn't ask me, am I all right? Nothing. He didn't send no love energy to me, making sure I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? He asked me what I do to deserve this. And I was like, nothing. And I couldn't breathe, so I couldn't really talk. And from there, he was like, well, I must have did something. I must have done something to deserve this, real sarcastic. And I was like, please help me. I'm begging for my life. And then the other cop, he said, what's your name? And I told him my name, Kenyatta. And, I don't know how good anyone can say that name without being able to breathe, And he was like, well, I don't understand that. If you don't tell us your name, we can't get you any help. And from that moment on, as soon as he said that, I heard ambulances already in the background, like coming like close to where I was at, because someone in the building where I was at the time when I got shot, they already had called. So, you know, it was just really a really, more than anything else, it was bad how it happened, but it was an inspiration to me to do more, you know, to do more with my life and to just help people, you know, become better, you know, instead of taking away from people and just looking for my own selfish gain. It's just more of a, you know, and that's what we did with the videos with Dame Dash. You know, I get clowned a little bit in my crew. You know, we're about to start monetizing the videos, but I didn't look to the videos to monetize anything. I didn't monetize. I didn't put the videos up to make any money. I asked Dame would he give me these interviews, because every time I'll be around Dame, he was just so thorough in his information, to the point where when I would go back to the shop and try to relay what he said, it wasn't coming off exactly how he said it, and I wish I could have recorded these things. So I started recording Dame. Over 15 years ago. You know, and we just hearing it now. Yeah, I was recording Dame. I was, you know, like, you know, getting this information from him, because he was always a standout client to me. You know, I have a lot of people I cut. Everybody knows something. Everybody's successful in their own way. But it was something about Dame, the way he moved and his consciousness in business. He had a business sense that I envy, to the point where I would sit there for hours after cutting his hair just to soak up game.
Right.
And that's why I put those videos out. It wasn't his decision to do it. It was his decision to do the interviews. I just started putting them up. I started putting the videos. I just threw them out there for the people, for you, for everybody that's listening. I threw it out there because I felt like, more than anybody else, I feel like, you know, black people in general just need to know more about business. And I know for just being part of the black culture, is that for us, a lot of times our elders weren't able to teach us about business because they also didn't know. You know, so I feel like we have to break the dysfunction one way or another through just spreading this knowledge and just giving up this information, not so much a charging. I mean, I understand that information costs and that it pays for itself, but at the same time, I just wanted to just spread the wealth that I've been given, you know, from Dame. And that's what we did, and it became a hit, because we shoot 8 million views later, over 8 million views later. Here we are. We went 8 times platinum in 9 months, 10 months basically. You know what I'm saying? Me and Dame, you know, and my crew, you know, female camera people, you know, camera lady Carolyn, my homegirl, and her sister Michelle, and we went out there and we just was capturing all this footage and putting it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of reading my mind here, because actually my next question was, how did you meet Dame, and then what made you want to work with him? And you pretty much
I met
covered
Dame.
that.
I met Dame, back to rewind a little bit. I met Dame through a client of mine. I was cutting this guy named Walter Millsap, who was a heavy producer in the game. He also owns the Mindless Behavior brand, a scene group called Mindless Behavior, a kid group. And this was way back in the day, like maybe like over 15 years ago, about 15 years ago, I would say. And I was cutting Walter Millsap up, and Jay Brown, who was very good friends with Dame at the time. They were like best friends. Dame was Jay Brown's best man at his wedding. You know what I'm saying? I started cutting Jay Brown, and Jay Brown brought me in to cut the Rockefeller crew and everybody in the crew, and, you know, and different people. And that's how I met Dame and Biggs and everybody, and Jay. And, you know, it was cool, because it was like, at that time when I was around Rockefeller, the crew, it was more of a family bond. You know what I'm saying? It definitely was a family bond. It was more like brothers doing business together. Exactly. You know, they were constantly having fun, clowning. It was a lot of good times. Big Face Gary was around at the time, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, all the Young Guns, you know, I did a lot of their videos. Yeah, so we, you know, it was a lot of fun, man. All of them are good dudes, man. Biggs, being around Biggs, you know, clowning with Biggs, you know what I'm saying? Making him talk and trying to make him talk, basically. You know, because Biggs was a good dude, man. I like Biggs. And we just kept moving, and I kept recording and just throwing them out, you know, throwing this information out there.
So you touched on the fact that Dame was like his business mind, and the fact that the way he thought was what made you want to produce these videos.
Oh, most definitely, yeah.
So that covers why you decided to work with him. I know you have a documentary or a docudrama that you already mentioned at the time.
Docudrama. Yeah, right.
The Secrets of Ballin'. Basically, and just to sum up again, because I think you did touch on this, my question was, what inspired you to make this film project?
Well, the inspiration for the film project is, The Secret of Ballin' is a segment on Thinking Ball Out, where I interviewed Dame for about 17 minutes. It's up on YouTube right now, as well as still on Bandcamp, where I talked to him about the law of attraction from a hip-hop perspective.
Right, okay. Is that also on Amazon? I think I saw it on Amazon, and I checked out a clip.
What's interesting? It might be today because I haven't been online yet. I was on set, so I was running around cutting. But it should be up because I know it'll be up on iTunes probably next week, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, cool. Because I know, it was cool. I saw Thinking Ball Out, and Amazon gave some little samples, some clips in it, and it sounded really dope. I remember one thing that, because especially since his Breakfast Club interview, Dame's interview, people clown and stuff like that, but I think Dame is really, really deep. And one of the clips that I heard on your Thinking Ballin' project on Amazon, I want to say it was Amazon, and either was on Amazon or on YouTube, was that, I forget what question you asked him, but his response was that he always visualized what he wanted. So if he wanted to buy $1 million house, he would go and check out $1 million model or something. And even if he couldn't afford it at that time,
Quentin Biggs and Jay would go out and they would do, they would just check out the house even if they couldn't afford it at the time, and just see what it was and what it takes to get in that house, and then they would do it. Yeah. And
then they could afford it. I thought that was dope. That whole concept.
Yeah, Dame is like one of those guys. He's our Yoda. You know what I'm saying? He's hip hop's Yoda. That's what I call him. You know what I'm saying? He called me Barbara Walters, but he's the hip hop Yoda. That dude is nonstop information, business information. And it's funny because I've always had the gift of having the whole, being conscious on the metaphysical side, but when I was getting around him and I'm seeing that he had the business ethics and he really understood certain things, and it made sense because I'm also a businessman. I've also owned a salon, and when you're on a salon, doing that type of business is a little interesting because you have to collect booth rent from different people and different personalities, and people coming in and out the salon, and you have to make sure there's certain rules in place. And I'm gonna also be spreading that message out there because like the Culture Vultures book, I just wrapped that book up about a month ago, and we should be getting ready to go ahead and start printing. That book is also, it's a business memoir. So what I did was for the over it's 10 years in the making. So I just studied Dame, filming these videos. There's a lot of footage we didn't put up. You know what I'm saying? But it's enough to where, so because we'll talk to him for hours, and we'll probably put up 20 minutes of that hour. And so, that's what you've been seeing on YouTube, the hip hop motivation videos with Dame is, and that's why I just sit there and let him talk. A lot of times I want to say things, but I just let them talk because I know because in my mind it's for the people. It's for everybody in the culture. So that's why you see me sitting there most of the time. Because I want him to keep going and just express everything he feels about business.
Exactly.
So I turned into his psychologist almost. I'm sitting there without judging anything he's saying and just let him get it off and say what he has to say.
Yeah.
So.
What I think is so powerful about that is coming from Dane, who's like this hip hop icon. For me personally, somebody who grew up a hip hop head, still am a hip hop head.
Yeah.
To hear that coming from him means so much more to me than, say, coming from Bill Gates. It's not that it's not valuable from any source, but
you know why. And I tell people all the time, why it's more valuable to us is because he came from where we came from.
Right.
I don't give a damn if you're from Harlem, you from Compton, if you're from Maryland, if you're from, Charlotte, North Carolina, a hood is a hood. And black people in the hood, when we come up, I think we all should listen because there is definitely something. There's definitely something that all successful people hold in common that come up. You know what I'm saying? There's something in common. That's what we revealed in the movie,
Right.
The Secret of the Ball. There's
Exactly.
definitely something in common. You can be from all walks of life, but if you take a look at it, people that come from the bottom that go to the top, they all have similar things in common that they do. I don't give a damn if you Snoop compared to Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, who was also in The Secret. They have so much in common that you wouldn't even believe it. He's successful at what he does.
Right.
You know, I got a mechanic homeboy, you know what I'm saying, that's successful at what he does. It's just what our choice, our career choices and our paths are, you know, but to be successful, it's definitely something in common. You know, there's a lot of mental work that has to go down, a lot of consciousness that takes place. Some people don't know what they're doing, but they just do it and they become successful.
Mhm. Yeah, that's key too. So with your explain that you're thinking Ball Out, that's already available.
Yeah, that's available now. It's coming up on iTunes in a minute. We're actually about to start filming Thinking Ball Out. That's what we're looking to do now. After we put out The Secret of the Ball, we're going to film Thinking Ball Out. Thinking Ball Out is going to be more like episodes. It's going to be like the Twilight Zone meets hip-hop motivation. It's going to be like that.
Oh,
you know
cool.
what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's going to be like the after-school specials, but for us.
Mhm. And does The Secret to Balling, because I'm actually looking forward to that, does that have a release date yet? Or
You know what? That doesn't have a release date at this time, but it can be any moment because what we're doing is we're working out distribution because we're going to stream it. We're pressing up copies. You know, we want as many people to watch it as possible. We don't just want to be limited to a certain level of copies. We want everybody that wants to see it to be able to go and see it. So we're working out some distribution and we're working out, some sponsorship situations, like trying to get some money on the table so we can go ahead and film The Secret of Balling too, because we're already ready for that as well. That's already written and ready to go.
Yeah, the first time I heard about that, I was ready for that one. So,
Oh, yeah. We was actually promoting that. We was promoting that while we were still working on it. So that's why, it was out there. I just want, because being an independent, we have to take things a step further than somebody that's at Warner Brothers. We got to promote it while we're doing it, just to get the word out there and to get the name out there. And I was all right with that. So, yeah, we got a lot of great information in this movie. Actually, first time I saw it, Dane be clowning me about it, but I'm an emotional kind of guy when it comes to like something great. Cause as soon as I saw it, man, tears was falling. Not no boo-hoo crying, but it was like tears because it was it's a beautiful project. And it wasn't because like I did it or my crew did it from Hip Hop Motivation. It's just a beautiful project. The message is heavy, strong.
Right. And when I found out on one of your videos that it was a docudrama, I was like, wow, I was even more interested.
Yeah.
I don't see that very often. So
yeah, and then the way we did it, it's just our own little taste of how we did it. We would put skits in between, and it just adds, because sometimes with talking head interviews, people can get ADD real quick. But we did the ADD test. We had Dame watch it, or we watched it in his theater at his house. And he's an ADD specialist because he definitely has ADD, and he watched it. He just sat there and watched the whole film. And when he was asking like how much longer on the film is when the film was ending, I was like, perfect. And he was like, oh, this is perfect. Yeah. So it's an hour and 56 minutes. It's a 2-hour movie. So it's like we're not shortchanging nobody. People was telling me to cut it and bring it down to an hour. Nah, you don't need to. You don't need to cut none of that because people need this information.
That's valuable information.
Man, let the people make that decision. You know what I'm saying? Let the people make that decision. We did this from our hearts. So from our hearts to yours, hopefully this will add and shed some light and enlighten everybody that watches and listens or whatever, and they'll be able to circulate this all over the world.
Definitely. On the topic of your business partnership and friendship with Dame, I wanted to know, because you have so many conversations with him on camera and off camera.
Right.
Was there any piece of information, advice, guidance that he ever gave you that just really moved you the most that you can remember? Something that he dropped on you that you were just like, wow.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny you say that. Like, we, me and Dane, we're real friends. I'll have to say that because we've gotten into it a few times. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a boss, I'm a boss, but You know, sometimes we, you know, the way we deliver a message, it may not be the best way to deliver it to a person with a boss mentality. So it may be a conflict, but we homeboys, and from him, and he's been in the game, you know, and he's done way more than I have as far as business. I don't have nothing but respect for him. You know what I'm saying? Right. So when he's talking to me, I'm just all ears. I'm not even going to front. I'm just listening. I'm blindly listening at times. And he told me one time, you know, he used to be on my head about, you know, just staying consistent in business is one of the most important. How staying consistent in business is one of the most important things anyone can do. And he used to push that. He said, you have to stay consistent. You have to roll with the punches. Like, you know, they're going to be down times, but in those down times, you have to still stay up and still get out of bed and still make moves and still research and still get out there and talk to people and, you know, interact and study what's going on, whatever it is you choose to do. Study that model, study what other people have done. But the main thing he used to always push was stay consistent. He always pushes stay consistent. You know, like he always relays that to being a barber. You know, a good barber is a consistent barber. A good hairstylist is a consistent hairstylist. So he always pushed that to me. That is something that's always stood out to me for many years. You know, because he always would say it throughout my time knowing him about being consistent and also not worrying about what other people think. You know, you have to literally you have to be crazy in business to be successful in business. You have to block out all the haters. You got to shake the haters off. You got to stay away from what people think about you. It's not what they think about you. It's what you think about yourself. Dame has always hit me with that type of information, and that type of information has helped me to increase myself in hip hop motivation and bring forth, you know, the movies we have and the books that are on the table right now. Because The Secret of Ballin' is a book also.
Right. Okay. So the book is going to follow the
right.
document.
Yeah. I'm it's funny. I'm wrapping the book up as we speak as well. Like the movie is done, but the book I'm just tightening up a few little pieces. The Culture Vulture book is done. And then I have Ready to Live coming out, which is a follow-up to Think and Ball Out. Ready to Live is like, you know, part 2 to Think and Ball Out. Like Biggie's ready to die, but this is ready to live. So, it's, you know, we're going to talk about that. That deals with the law of attraction. And there's many laws. The law of attraction is one law out of many.
So would you say you're kind of breaking down those laws kind of like for maybe the hip hop audience? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, and it's not so much of trying to do it. It's just coming from. It's just the person it's coming from. Like I'm a hip hop fanatic. I'm a head. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop head. So, you know, when it's coming from me, you know, the information that I've received and that I've been happy to come across, I'm just relaying the information back to people because it's not like there's nothing new under the sun. So it's pretty much my delivery of the information that makes it hip hop motivation.
Gotcha. Really quickly, I wanted to also ask you about Poppington University because I believe you're involved in that as well.
Yeah. Poppington University. Yeah, we did the first one in New York.
Okay. Can you explain what that's all about and, you know, how one can get involved with that?
Well, Poppington University, they can go to poppingtonuniversity.com for more information, or they can just hit me up at hiphopmotivation01@gmail.com, and, you know, they can ask all questions there. Poppington University is something that Dame came up with to bring forth seminars and events to get people valuable information that can help them move forward throughout their lives. You know, it's going to be more than just the typical motivational seminar. You know, it's going to bring forth people that are in the music game and arts, that people that, you know, from all walks of life, really. You know, that's the mission that Dame has told me that he wants to do. He wants to bring forth all types of different events and seminars, you know, from people that have, you know, achieved great success. And, you know, when Dame's sitting up there talking, you know, it's like crazy because the first seminar we did, people was just in awe because they was just sitting there listening because he's a fountain of information. He just keeps pouring it. And it's like, even if you've heard something before, you know, he changes up his style and how he says it each and every time, but it gives the same results and it's the same information. So he's not, it's not just a regimented one topic speech that he's giving. He's actually channeling information and speaking from his heart, because it's things that he's lived and things that he's experienced. Like even when it comes to people like the experiences he had with Leo Cohen, Jay-Z, Kanye, or whoever, Kevin Hart. He's just speaking from his heart. And really, to be honest with you, I feel like that's really what made everything we're doing successful, is because he is speaking from his heart. And, people can't be mad at you when you speak from your heart, even if they don't agree with what you're saying. You can't really be mad at the person that's speaking from their heart, because that's really all there is. The spirit, the soul is all there is. So if you're speaking from that, you can never go wrong.
In Poppington University or Poppington Academy, I think that's a dope concept too, because as a business owner and entrepreneur myself, when I see the advertisements, because I'm following him, Dame, on Instagram, I'm always like, yo, I wish it was something a little closer that I could go to and experience that, because I can imagine like a panel including Dame and other business minds like yourself as well. I appreciate that. So I think
most definitely, and that's why he was inspiration. Like we were putting together right now Hip Hop Motivation Spiritual Center. We're trying to get a building so where we can get a spot to where we can have people come throughout the week, like on Sundays, Saturdays, Wednesdays, have different seminars, different things going on. But it's a consistent place where you could come every other day if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Well, there's always something going on. So we're putting together the Hip Hop Motivation Spiritual Center right now as we speak as well. So we're just looking for the right location. Actually, we're not looking. The right location is going to find us. That's the way the energy works. It vibrates towards you. You know what I'm saying? So where we're supposed to be is going to be. But that's what's in the universe now. The Hip Hop Motivation Spiritual Center, which is affiliated with the Poppington Academy, Poppington University.
I gotta mention this one little brief story. I was out in New York. This is regards to Dame, because anybody will tell you that I love Dame Dash. I just respect him, just like you say you do.
Definitely.
I heard him on somebody's interview. He's talking about Poppington, the art gallery, and I had never heard of it. So I was like, yo, I was going down to New York to see Dave Chappelle perform. So I was like, the day after, I was like, told me and my friend to go to the art gallery. So we took a cab out there. I think it's in Soho or something. And we
it's in the Soho district, right? Yeah,
we went out there to his art gallery. So it was kind of quiet around that time. So, but I knew it was art gallery because I saw a big picture or whatever. So I think my friend and I were opening the door, and this big ass dog comes barking and charging at us. So then we like, oh crap! Wow. So we run out the door, and we get right into another door right by it because we thought he was gonna come out. And I think one of the workers came out, and they were like, "Yo, don't leave the door open because the dog gonna run out." So then I realized the dog was harmless. So I come out and I come in and I'm trying to tell my friend, "Yo, come in." And she was like, "Nah, I'm not messing with that." I realized
you see a big dog running out at you.
That was right. She was pissed. She was like, "I'm not having it." I found out later that's Dave's dog because actually.
Yeah, Dusko. The big Labrador Retriever, the yellow Labrador, right?
And he was actually harmless because when I walked in there to take a look at everything in the art gallery, he came up. The dog came up to me. He was chilling. But she wasn't having it. She wasn't coming in. She was like, forget it. She was like, who has dogs in the art gallery or whatever. So that's like an ongoing joke between us going to his art gallery.
Right, yeah.
And so, but I just had to mention that. With regards to you being a barber, I wanted to ask some advice from you just because I have my little brother. He just finished high school. He's going to be starting college in a couple months, whatever. And he just got into barbering. And he's doing this little thing. He has this like a little logo and everything. And he's posts up his videos of his work and all that. So I just wanted to know. And he's already promoting for prices to cut some people on campus. So I think he's doing his thing. what advice would you give him? Somebody just breaking into it, you know.
Just brand new into the game, and then he actually wants to go into the hair business. He actually wants to be a barber, or is it something that he's just doing?
I think right now that's something just maybe to fall back on. I'm not sure he wants to 100% do that, but I don't know for sure. But
well, my advice to him, like anyone with any craft or anything that they're doing, is you have to love it first. You know, you have to have a total affinity for what you're doing to become the best at what you're doing. You know, because without love, would you really move forward with something? So, you know, for him to be a better barber, to be more, you know, even giving out consistent haircuts, he has to love it. He has to love what he's doing. He has to move forward through love. And that's whatever he's doing. Like with his major, whatever he's going into, it has to be he has to have a total affinity for whatever he's doing. And that's how you become the best at what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. If you don't love it, stop doing it. Get out the way. You know what I'm saying? You know, because so many people don't love their jobs. They go to work and they don't love it, and as you see, they do a weak job, and they put out crap work. You know what I'm saying? But when you love something, like the best artists in the world, those pieces that we see that we love, is because they loved it first. And they love what they're doing, and it translates through the work they're doing. And it's the same thing with haircuts, with being a mechanic, with being a chef, a model. You know, you be even a stripper. The best strippers at the strip club are the strippers that love what they're doing. They love to entertain the men or entertain the women if it's a male. So you have to love what you're doing, regardless, with no judgment. You have to love it.
Yeah, you gotta definitely have a passion for it.
Gotta have passion.
One of my last questions for you, on one of your videos, I learned that and you've already mentioned that you read a lot of books. You read anything from business strategy books to spiritual books, and I found it to be refreshing to know that you were a fan of Neville Goddard. That's somebody who I read as well.
Oh,
and I wanted to know, because for me with Neville Goddard, one of his topics or concepts that I really like, and we kind of touched on it, you know, which is related to the law of attraction, is his concept of feel it real, where you know, if you want something, kind of what we said, what Dane was saying, like kind of if you want something, you have to act like you already have it, or, you know, like you have to visualize it and feel it.
Well, the feeling always gets the blessing. It always gets the blessing. The feeling prayer is the prayer that gets answered. The feeling imagination is the imagination that becomes manifest. It becomes reality. So everything is feeling. Everything is feeling. If you feel it, you will see it.
It will manifest.
It will manifest. With no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
So I just wanted to know, as an entrepreneur or businessman, is there anything in particular, a concept from Neville Goddard or somebody that I may not even be privy to, that really has helped you along the way? Maybe it was a book, maybe it was, is there anything that you would recommend for us or the audience as like a tool that really helped you?
Well, another great book. Well, one of the tools and one of the books that helped me on my journey, I like Walter Russell. He's a guy who wrote the book called The Divine Iliad. I also like Florence Scovel Shinn. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote a book called The Game of Life and How to Play It. Interesting enough, that book was introduced to me by the one and only LL Cool J, and you know, I was cutting him up for a few years on NCIS, and he gave me that book. Came in one day and just handed it to me. He was like, "Yo, read this," because he would see me like in my downtime. I would always be reading, studying, and doing whatever. And he gave me that book, and that book changed my life. You know, Florence, and where it got to the point when I read that book, I read all of her books. She has a book with all of her books compiled. Florence Scovel Shinn, that's her name, Schinn, Florence Scovel Shinn. And her book is The Game of Life and How to Play It. If you read that book, trust and believe, that book will change your life. That book might be that book and it's not so deep and heavy to where it's gonna fly over anyone. A child can read that book and understand where she's coming from. She breaks down things so simple. Yeah, she breaks it down. But LL Cool J, shout out to him for, hipping me to the game on that book, giving that book to me.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out. That's gonna be my new book to get on Amazon.
Yeah.
Could you please share whatever you want to share with everyone, how to reach you, how to get your projects or anything
definitely.
you want to wrap it up with?
Okay, most definitely. Well, this is, Kenyatta, King Kenyatta, Barbara Walters, whatever you want to call it. But, if you want to stay simple, just call me Kenyatta, Ken, whatever. You can reach me at hiphopmotivation01@gmail.com. To purchase Thinking Ball Out, you can go to hiphopmotivation.bandcamp.com. Also look for Thinking Ball Out being available on iTunes, Amazon, all the platforms for downloads. And we're gonna be putting up more videos with different people as well, including Dame. Because that was season 1 of Hip Hop Motivation that you guys witnessed. But there's more seasons to come, and we have more to come from this movie. We got The Secret to Ballin' coming out very, very soon. Stay patient. We got you. You're going to love it. The Secret to Ballin' book is coming. Culture Vultures book is coming. That's a Damon Dash business memoir called Culture Vultures. Look out for that real soon. And we just in full effect. You can go to www.thesecrettoballing.com, check out the website. And that's it. You can hit me up on Instagram at hip_hop_motivator. And I'm on Facebook under Kenyatta Kari, Khari. First name Kenyatta, Kenyatta. Holla at me. Stay up. You know what I'm saying? Understand that, your belief in God is your belief in yourself, and your belief in yourself is your belief in God. I have nothing else to say other than that.
Wow. Well, thank you so much again, Kenyatta, for taking the time out for this interview. I think you dropped a lot of gems for us. And I wish you much success with Hip Hop Motivation.
Most definitely. Stay in contact. Definitely.
I definitely will.
Stay in contact. Interview me anytime. Like, it's all good. It's all good. I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Kenyatta from Hip Hop Motivation Corporation. I hope you enjoyed it. I like a lot of things about that interview, but one of the main things that stood out to me is the fact that Kenyatta didn't let a bad thing get him down. Or when he was down, he used that as inspiration and motivation to accomplish his goals, to achieve things he always has wanted to achieve. And it's my personal belief that that's the reason why we go through hard times in life. It's like a higher self telling us, look, get up off your ass and accomplish what you're meant to accomplish. Achieve what you are meant to achieve. Because we all know sometimes we need those type of nudges in the right direction. So that's our show. Please hit us up online at theismradioshow.com or on Twitter at theismradio. This is Andrea signing off. Peace, love, and light to the family.